Chaos. People shouting. Where is she, Bowl? We go live in 30 minutes. The sound of hangers rattling. A door slams open. The bridal suite and the Plaza Hotel smelled of hairspray, expensive lilies, and panic. Pure, unadulterated panic. Serena, the bride, was gone. The window was open. The Vera Wang dress, worth more than my entire college education, was discarded on the floor like a pile of dirty laundry. I stood in the corner, holding a clipboard, trying to breathe. I was Ava, the executive assistant. The invisible girl, the one who fixed everything. But I couldn't fix a runaway bride 30 minutes before the wedding of the century. Or so I thought. Heavy, authoritative footsteps approaching. Silence falls over the room. The door opened. Gabriel Stone walked in. He was 6'3" of pure dominance. Broad shoulders, sharp jawline, and eyes as blue and cold as a glacier. He wore a custom tuxedo that made him look like a dark prince. He looked at the empty room. He looked at the discarded dress. He didn't yell. He didn't panic. Gabriel Stone never panicked. He turned slowly. His gaze swept over the crying bridesmaids, the frantic wedding planner, and landed on me. "Leave us," he commanded. His voice was low baritone and brooked no argument. "But Mr. Stone," the planner stammered. "Out! Now!" Everyone scrambled out. The door clicked shut. It was just us. The billionaire CEO and his loyal, invisible assistant. My heart hammered against my ribs. I had been in love with this man for 5 years. 5 years of getting his coffee, scheduling his dates, and watching him with women who were everything I wasn't. Beautiful, confident, rich. "Sir," I whispered, clutching my clipboard. I can call the security team. We can find Serena." "Serena didn't want to be found," Gabriel said calmly. He walked towards me. He moved like a predator stalking prey. "And the press is downstairs. The investors are seated. If I walk out there alone, Stone Enterprises stock drops 15% by morning." He stopped right in front of me. He was so close I could smell him, spiced amber and rain. It was the scent of my dreams and my nightmares. "Ava," he said, "put on the dress." I blinked. "Excuse me?" "The dress." He pointed to the white silk on the floor. "Serena is a size 4. You are a size 4. She is 5'7". You are 5'7". I stepped back, horrified. "Sir, I can't. That's her dress. I'm just your assistant." "Not today," Gabriel said. He reached out and took the clipboard from my hand, tossing it onto the sofa. "Today, you are the woman who saves my company." "But the face," I stammered. "People will know." "The veil is thick," he countered. "And once the rings are exchanged, it won't matter. The contract is signed." He stepped closer, invading my personal space. His hand reached up and pulled the pins out of my tight, severe bun. My brown hair cascaded down my shoulders. He touched a strand of my hair, his fingers lingering. His touch sent a jolt of electricity through me. "Besides," he murmured, his voice dropping to a husky whisper, "you look better with your hair down." "Gabriel, please," I pleaded, using his first name for the first time. "I can't be her. I can't be Serena. I can't pretend to be the woman you love. It will kill me." Gabriel's eyes darkened. He grabbed my shoulders. "I don't need Serena," he growled. "I need a wife. And right now you are the only person in this world I trust." He turned me around and unzipped my boring gray dress. The sound of the zipper was loud in the silent room. I froze. He was undressing me. His fingers brushed the skin of my back. His touch wasn't cold. It was burning. "Do this for me, Ava," he whispered against my ear. "Be mine for 1 year. and I will give you anything you want. I closed my eyes. Tears pricked my eyelids. He didn't want me. He wanted a body to fill a dress. He wanted a prop. But I was weak. I loved him too much to say no. Okay, I whispered, my voice breaking. I'll do it. The wedding. March plays on an organ, murmurs of the crowd, the rustle of silk. Walking down the aisle felt like walking to my execution. The veil was heavy. I couldn't see the faces of the guests, only blurred shapes, but I could see him. Gabriel stood at the altar. He watched me, not with the annoyance of a man whose bride had fled, but with intensity, as if he had been waiting for me all along. I reached him. He took my hand. His grip was possessive. "You're shaking," he noted softly. "I'm terrified," I admitted. "Don't be." He squeezed my hand. "I've got you." The priest spoke. The vows were said. "I, Gabriel, take you." He paused. He didn't say Serena's name. "Take you to be my wedded wife." "I, Ava," I choked out. "Take you." "You may kiss the bride." Gabriel lifted the veil. The crowd gasped. They saw it wasn't Serena. But Gabriel didn't give them time to react. He cupped my face with both hands. His thumb stroked my cheeks, wiping away a stray tear. He looked at me with a hunger that stole my breath. "Finally," he breathed. A word so quiet I thought I imagined it. Then he kissed me. It wasn't a stage kiss. It wasn't polite. It was devastating. His lips claimed mine, hard and demanding. He kissed me like he was starving, like he had wanted to do this for 1,000 years. For a moment, I forgot I was a substitute. I forgot the contract. I melted into him. But then the camera flashes exploded, camera shutters clicking rapidly. He pulled away. The mask was back in place. "Smile, Mrs. Stone," he whispered, his arm clamping around my waist like a vice. "The show has just begun." I smiled, but inside my heart was breaking. I was now the wife of the man I loved, but to him, I was just a shadow in a white dress. The hum of a luxury car engine, rain pattering on the roof, the sound of a keycard unlocking a door. Silence. The reception was a blur of fake smiles and camera flashes. I felt like a doll being paraded around. By the time we got into the limousine, my feet were killing me and my head was pounding. Gabriel didn't say a word the entire ride. He sat across from me, watching me with those unreadable blue eyes. He looked like he was solving a puzzle, and I was the missing piece he couldn't quite fit. We didn't go to his usual penthouse in Manhattan. We drove out to the Hamptons, to a massive modern estate overlooking the ocean. "Where are we?" I asked, my voice hoarse. "Home," Gabriel replied simply. "I bought this place 3 months ago. Serena hated the ocean. She said the salt ruined her hair." I looked at him surprised. "I love the ocean." "I know," he said. Just 2 words. But they carried a weight I couldn't understand. We walked inside. The house was stunning. Minimalist, elegant, filled with light wood and glass. It was warm. It didn't feel like him. It felt like me. "The master bedroom is upstairs," Gabriel said, taking off his tuxedo jacket and tossing it onto a chair. He rolled up his sleeves, revealing forearms that looked like they could crush stone. "Go take a shower. You smell like fear and lilies. I hate lilies." I flinched. Lilies were Serena's favorite flower. I'll sleep in the guest room," I stammered, clutching the skirt of the heavy wedding dress. Gabriel stopped. He turned slowly to face me. The air in the room thickened. "No," he said. "We are married, Ava. We share a bed." "But it's fake," I blurted out. The marriage is a contract. We don't have to. The marriage is legal. He cut me off walking towards me. And I don't sleep alone in my own house. Upstairs, now. I swallowed hard and obeyed. I was still his assistant after all. Obedience was a habit. I walked into the master bedroom. It was huge with a king-sized bed facing a wall of glass that looked out at the dark churning sea. On the bed lay a set of silk pajamas. Emerald green, my favorite color. I frowned. How did he know maybe it was a coincidence? But then I saw the size tag. Small, petite, the exact brand I wore, the expensive brand I only bought once a year on sale. I tried to unzip the dress, but my hands were shaking too much. The zipper was stuck. Need help. I jumped. Gabriel was leaning against the doorframe watching me. It's stuck, I whispered, humiliated. He walked over. He didn't touch me immediately. He stood behind me, his heat radiating into my back. Breathe, Ava, he murmured. I'm not going to eat you. He brushed my hair to the side, exposing my neck. His fingers were warm and rough. He found the zipper. Sound FX zipper slowly sliding down, fabric rustling. He pulled it down inch by agonizing inch. His knuckles grazed my spine with every movement. My breath hitched. You're tense, he observed. His voice was right by my ear. Are you afraid of me? No. I lied. Liar. He pressed a kiss to the bare skin of my shoulder. I gasped. Gabriel. You have a mole here, he whispered, tracing a spot on my shoulder blade. And a scar on your left knee from when you fell off a bike in 3rd grade. And you're allergic to strawberries. I froze. The dress pooled at my feet, leaving me in my simple cotton underwear. I turned around, covering myself with my arms. How? I stared at him wide-eyed. How do you know all that? Gabriel looked down at me. His expression was intense, almost painful. I read your personnel file, he said, but it sounded like a lie. A personnel file doesn't list childhood scars. That's creepy, I whispered. That's thorough, he corrected. I know everything about the people I allow into my life. He reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. Go shower, he said, his voice softer now. Use the blue bottle. It's vanilla and sandalwood, not lilies. I looked at him one last time, confused and overwhelmed, then ran into the bathroom, shower running, steam hissing. I stood under the hot water, scrubbing Serena's perfume off my skin. Vanilla and sandalwood. I picked up the blue bottle. I sniffed it. It was my scent. The cheap perfume I wore every day to the office. But this was the expensive, real version of it. Why would he stock his bathroom with my scent before he even knew Serena would run away? Unless… No, I shook my head. Stop dreaming, Ava. He's a control freak. He probably bought every scent just in case. I stepped out, dried off, and put on the green silk pajamas. They fit perfectly, like a second skin. I looked in the mirror. I didn't look like an assistant anymore. I looked like a woman. A woman who belonged in this house. I walked back into the bedroom. Gabriel was already in bed. He was wearing gray sweatpants and a white t-shirt. He was reading a book on his tablet. He looked domestic. Dangerous, but domestic. I hesitated by the bed. Which side? I asked awkwardly. Left, he said without looking up. You always sleep on your left side. My jaw dropped. How do you know that? He finally looked up. He smirked. You fell asleep in the limo on the way to the airport last year, and on the private jet to Tokyo, you always curl up on your left. I blushed furiously. I crawled into the bed, staying as far away from him as possible on the massive mattress. Good night, sir, I mumbled, turning my back to him. Gabriel, he corrected. We're married now. Stop calling me sir. Good night, Gabriel. Silence. The sound of the ocean outside was soothing, but I couldn't sleep. I was hyper aware of him. Suddenly I felt the mattress shift, an arm heavy and strong wrapped around my waist. I stiffened. Gabriel pulled me backwards until my back was pressed against his chest. We were spooning. Gabriel, I squeaked. You're shivering, he said gruffly into my hair. And the AC is on high. I run hot. It's efficient. Efficient? I repeated, my heart hammering like a trapped bird. Is this part of the contract? Consider it a bonus, he muttered. He didn't try to go further. He just held me. His hand rested flat on my stomach, his thumb rubbing soothing circles on the silk. It felt right. It felt like I had been waiting for this my whole life. Ava, he whispered after a while. Yes. Why didn't you quit? The question surprised me. What? 5 years, he said. I'm a demanding boss. I made you work weekends. I made you cancel dates. I was difficult. Why did you stay? I bit my lip. I couldn't tell him the truth. Because I love you, you idiot. Because, I whispered, you needed me. You're brilliant, Gabriel, but you forget to eat. You forget to call your mother. You forget that you're human. Someone had to remind you. I felt his grip tighten slightly. He buried his face in my neck, inhaling deeply. You're right, he murmured, his voice heavy with sleep. I needed you more than I knew. Go to sleep, Ava. Tomorrow the world will try to tear us apart. But tonight, you're safe. I closed my eyes. For the first time in 5 years, I wasn't the shadow. I was the one he was holding. But as I drifted off, a nagging thought remained. Why did he buy a house by the ocean 3 months ago? Why did he have my pajamas? Was Serena the substitute, or was I the plan all along? An alarm clock buzzing softly, birds chirping, the smell of burnt toast, a coffee machine grinding beans. Waking up in Gabriel Stone's arms was dangerous. It felt too natural. He was still asleep, his arm draped possessively over my waist, his face buried in the crook of my neck. In sleep, the ruthless billionaire looked almost soft. His eyelashes were long, casting shadows on his cheekbones. I carefully extricated myself from his grip, replacing my body with a pillow. He grunted, pulling the pillow close, muttering something unintelligible. My heart did a traitorous flip. Stop it, Ava, I scolded myself. He's hugging the pillow thinking it's Serena. Or just a body. Don't read into it. I went downstairs to the kitchen. The house was quiet. The staff wouldn't arrive for another hour. I decided to make breakfast. Not the fancy chef-prepared meals Gabriel was used to, but real food, pancakes, bacon, scrambled eggs with cheese. I was flipping a pancake when I heard footsteps. Gabriel leaned against the doorframe. He was showered, dressed in dark jeans and a navy t-shirt that hugged his biceps. His hair was damp and messy. He looked at the chaotic kitchen flour on the counter, eggshells in the sink, and then at me. You cook? He asked, sounding genuinely surprised. I survive, I corrected, sliding a plate of pancakes onto the island. It's not Michelin star quality, but it's edible. Unless you want me to call your chef. Gabriel walked over. He picked up a piece of bacon and ate it. My chef makes foam, he said dryly. I hate foam. This is actual food. He sat down and started eating with an appetite I had rarely seen in the office. He usually skipped breakfast or drank a green smoothie that looked like sludge. Eat with me, he commanded, pointing to the stool next to him. I already ate. I lied. I was too nervous to eat. Gabriel put his fork down. The temperature in the room dropped. Ava, he said, his voice dropping to that dangerous low register. I don't like repeating myself. Sit. I sat. He cut a piece of pancake, dipped it in syrup, and held the fork to my mouth. Open! My face burned. I can feed myself, Gabriel. I know you can, he said, his eyes locking onto mine. But I want to. I opened my mouth. He fed me. The intimacy of the act was overwhelming. It felt more intimate than sex. He watched my lips close around the fork, his pupils dilating. "Good girl," he murmured. Phones ringing, typing, the hustle of a busy corporate office, heels clicking. Returning to Stone Enterprises was surreal. Yesterday I was the assistant fetching coffee. Today I was the CEO's wife. I walked in wearing a sleek white dress Gabriel had picked out for me. On my finger sat a diamond ring the size of a skating rink. The whispers started immediately. "Is that Ava? I heard she married him." "No way, the mouse." I kept my head high walking towards Gabriel's office. But old habits die hard. I automatically went to my old desk outside his door. "What are you doing?" Gabriel's voice boomed from the doorway. I jumped. I was checking your schedule." "You are not my assistant anymore, Ava," he said, walking over to me. He took my hand and pulled me away from the desk. "You don't sit out here." "Then where do I sit?" "Inside," he said. "With me." He led me into his massive office. He had added a second desk right next to his. "I can't work in here," I whispered. "It's distracting." "For who?" he smirked. "You or me?" "Both." He leaned in, trapping me against the edge of the new desk. "Good. I like being distracted by you." Just then the intercom buzzed. "Mr. Stone, Mr. Sterling is here for the merger meeting." Gabriel sighed, pulling away. "Show him in." Liam Sterling, a young, charming tech mogul, and someone I knew. Liam walked in looking dapper in a gray suit. When he saw me, his face lit up. "Ava," he exclaimed. "Ava Miller, is that you?" I smiled, relieved to see a friendly face. "Hi, Liam. Long time no see." We had gone to college together. We dated briefly freshman year, nothing serious, just coffee and study sessions. Liam bypassed Gabriel completely and walked straight to me. He grabbed my hand and kissed my cheek. "You look incredible." Liam said, his eyes sweeping over me appreciatively. "I heard Stone got married, but I had no idea it was to the smartest girl in our econ class. He's a lucky bastard." A pen snapping in half, loudly. I flinched. Liam turned around. Gabriel was standing behind his desk. He had snapped his expensive Mont Blanc pen in two. Ink was leaking onto his hand, but he didn't seem to notice. His eyes were murderous. "Sterling," Gabriel said, his voice like liquid nitrogen. "Step away from my wife." Liam chuckled nervously, raising his hands. "Relax, Gabriel. We go way back. Ava and I used to—" "I don't care what you used to do," Gabriel interrupted, walking around the desk. He moved with lethal grace, placing himself directly between me and Liam. He towered over the other man. "She is Mrs. Stone now, and I don't like other men touching my things." "Gabriel," I hissed, touching his arm. "Stop it. He's just saying hello." Gabriel shrugged my hand off, keeping his glare fixed on Liam. "The meeting is cancelled," Gabriel stated. Liam blinked. "What? But the merger?" "Get out," Gabriel growled. "Before I forget, we are in a place of business." Liam looked at Gabriel, then at me. He saw the danger. "Right," Liam said, backing away. "Good to see you, Ava." He fled the office. The moment the door closed, Gabriel turned on me. "You dated him," he accused. "We went on 3 dates, Gabriel, in college 10 years ago. He touched you." Gabriel paced the room, running a hand through his hair. "He looked at you like he knew you, like he had a right to you." "He was just being friendly," I argued. "Why are you acting like this? It's a fake marriage, remember? You don't actually care." Gabriel stopped pacing. He froze. He looked at me with an expression of raw pain that took my breath away. "Fake," he whispered harshly. He marched over to me, grabbing my waist and hoisting me up onto his desk, knocking over a stack of files. "You think this is fake?" he demanded, pressing his body between my legs. He grabbed my left hand, shoving the ring in my face. "This ring is real. The vows were real. The ink on the license is real. He lowered his head, his lips brushing mine, taunting me. And this jealousy, he rasped against my mouth. This urge to beat him into a pulp because he breathed the same air as you. That feels pretty fucking real to me, Ava. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would explode. Gabriel, I whimpered. Tell me, he demanded, his blue eyes piercing my soul. Tell me you belong to me. Say it. I was trembling. I wanted to believe him, but the shadow of Serena still loomed over us. I'm your wife, I whispered. Not good enough, he growled, biting my neck gently. Say I am yours, Gabriel. I am yours, Gabriel, I breathed. He groaned a sound of triumph and agony. He kissed me then, hard and possessive, claiming me right there on his desk in the middle of a workday. His hands roamed my body, marking his territory, erasing Liam's touch, erasing everything but him. Intercom buzzes. Mr. Stone, your mother is on line 1. Gabriel broke the kiss, resting his forehead against mine. He was panting. I was panting. Saved by the bell, he muttered darkly. He helped me down from the desk, straightening my dress with surprisingly gentle hands. This isn't over, he promised, wiping my swollen lips with his thumb. We're going to finish this conversation at home, in our bed. He walked to his desk to take the call. I stood there, leaning against the wall for support. My legs were jelly. He was jealous. He was possessive. He almost canceled a $1 million merger because a guy hugged me. That wasn't acting. But if he loved me, why did he propose to Serena first? The question gnawed at me. I looked at him talking on the phone, looking like the master of the universe. He was hiding something, and I was going to find out what. Later that evening, Gabriel was in the shower. I was in the bedroom putting away laundry. His phone buzzed on the nightstand. I glanced at it. A text message. From an unknown number. Phase 1 complete. She thinks she escaped. When do I get the rest of the payment? Serena. I froze. The phone buzzed again. Don't forget our deal, Gabe. I played my part. Now you have your little assistant. Make her happy. My world stopped spinning. I dropped the shirt I was holding. Phase 1. I played my part. You have your assistant. He paid her. Gabriel paid Serena to run away. He orchestrated the whole thing. The runaway bride, the panic, the emergency wedding. It was all a setup. To trap me. I stared at the bathroom door. The water was running. He wasn't a victim of a runaway bride. He was the puppet master. And I was the doll he had manipulated into his dollhouse. I felt a mix of horror and relief. He wanted me. He went to extreme, insane lengths just to marry me. But he lied. He manipulated me. He stripped me of my choice. The wolf in sheep's clothing wasn't me. It was him. I heard the water stop. I put the phone back exactly where it was. I sat on the edge of the bed, my heart racing. Two can play this game, Gabriel Stone. You wanted a wife, you wanted to own me. Fine. But now I know your secret, and secrets are power. Rain lashing against the windows. Thunder rumbling low and ominous. The sound of a suitcase being dragged across a wooden floor. Silence. Knowing the truth is like swallowing glass. It cuts you from the inside out, but you have to keep smiling so no one sees the blood. For 2 days I played the perfect wife. I poured his coffee. I let him hold me at night. I let him kiss me goodbye in the mornings. But every time he touched me, I felt the phantom weight of his lie. He bought me, like a piece of art, like a company merger. He didn't trust me enough to woo me. He manipulated me into a corner until saying I do was my only option. It was a Tuesday night. Gabriel was late. A business dinner, he said. I was sitting in the living room staring at the divorce papers I had drafted. I hadn't signed them yet. I was waiting for him to come home and lie to me again. The front door opens. Voices. Laughter. No arguing. You can't just show up here, Serena. Gabriel's voice. Angry. Hushed. Why not, darling? It's my house too, isn't it? Or at least it was supposed to be. A female voice. High-pitched. Sugary. Serena. I stood up, my blood turning to ice. I walked to the hallway, staying in the shadows. Gabriel was there, blocking the entrance. Serena stood in the doorway, drenched in rain, wearing a trench coat and a wicked smile. She looked beautiful and dangerous. We had a deal, Gabriel hissed, grabbing her arm to stop her from entering further. $5 million. You disappear. You never come back. I know, Serena sighed, pouting. But Paris was boring, Gabe. And I saw the tabloids. You and the little mouse. You look so cozy. It made me jealous. She trailed a finger down his chest. I want more, she whispered. 10 million, or I go to the press and tell them how you paid your fiancé to leave so you could marry your secretary. Imagine the scandal. Stock prices plummeting, your reputation in ruins. Gabriel stiffened. He looked ready to kill her. You are blackmailing me. I'm negotiating, she smirked. Business is business, right? I couldn't listen anymore. I stepped out of the shadows. Let her in, Gabriel, I said. My voice was calm, dead calm. Both of them spun around. Gabriel's face went pale. For the first time, the great Gabriel Stone looked terrified. Ava, he breathed. Well. Serena chuckled, pushing past Gabriel to enter the foyer. She looked me up and down with disdain. The shadow speaks. Nice pajamas, honey. Are they mine? No, I said, walking towards them. They're mine. Just like this house. Just like the man you sold. Serena raised an eyebrow. Ooh, feisty. I see why he likes you. You're cheap entertainment. Get out, Serena, Gabriel snarled, stepping between us. Now, before I call security. Not until I get my check, she countered, crossing her arms. I looked at Gabriel's back, the broad shoulders I had clung to last night. So it's true, I whispered. The text message, the deal. It's all true. Gabriel turned to me slowly. His blue eyes were wide, pleading. Ava, let me explain. Explain what? I laughed, a broken, hollow sound. That you orchestrated the most humiliating day of my life, that you made me think I was saving you when really you were trapping me. I didn't want to trap you. He stepped closer, reaching for my hand. I recoiled. I wanted you. I've wanted you for 5 years, Ava. But you were so professional, so guarded. You never looked at me like a man. You only saw the boss. I knew if I asked you on a date, you'd say no. You'd quit. So you staged a fake wedding, I shouted, tears finally spilling over. That's insane, Gabriel. That's not love, that's control. It was the only way, he roared back, his desperation cracking his composure. I had to bind you to me. I knew once you were mine, I could make you happy. I could make you love me back. I already loved you, I screamed. The confession hung in the air, silencing the room. Gabriel froze. Hope flared in his eyes. You loved me. Yes, I sobbed. For 5 years I loved you in silence. I loved you enough to wear another woman's dress to save your reputation. But this, I gestured between him and Serena. This isn't love. This is a game, and I'm done playing. I turned and ran up the stairs. Ava! Wait, Gabriel shouted, running after me. Let her go, Gabe, Serena called out lazily. She's just being dramatic. She'll be back. Where else can a mouse go? I slammed the bedroom door and locked it. I grabbed the suitcase I had packed earlier. I didn't take the clothes he bought. I didn't take the jewelry. I took my old jeans, my old sweater, and the ring. I took the massive diamond off my finger. It felt like tearing off a piece of my soul. I placed it on the nightstand next to the signed divorce papers, fists pounding on the door. Ava, open this door, please. Let me fix this. You can't fix this, Gabriel, I whispered to the wood. I opened the balcony door. The rain whipped into the room. I climbed over the railing. It was the second floor, but there was a trellis covered in ivy. I used to climb trees as a kid. I climbed down, slipping in the rain, scraping my hands. I hit the wet grass and ran. I ran towards the gate. I didn't look back at the house that was supposed to be my home. Behind me, I heard the bedroom door shatter as Gabriel kicked it in. Then a roar of pure anguish echoed from the balcony. Ava! 2 hours later, I was in a cheap motel room on the outskirts of the city. It smelled of stale cigarettes and despair. I sat on the edge of the lumpy bed, shivering. I was soaked to the bone. My phone was blowing up. 50 missed calls from Gabriel. 20 texts. Ava, please. I'm sorry. Ava, come home. I love you. I'm sorry. I'll destroy everything if you don't come back. I turned the phone off. I curled up into a ball and cried. I cried for the girl who thought fairy tales were real. I cried for the man who was both my prince and my villain. Knock on the door. Gentle at first, then frantic. I froze. How did he find me? I turned off my GPS. I paid in cash. Ava. It wasn't Gabriel. It was Liam Sterling. I walked to the door and looked through the peephole. Liam stood there looking worried, holding an umbrella. I opened the door. Liam, how? I saw you running on the highway, he said breathlessly. I was driving back from a meeting. I followed you to make sure you were safe. Ava, you're bleeding. I looked down at my hands, scraped and bloody from the trellis. I left him, I whispered. Liam's face softened. He stepped inside and closed the door. I know, he said gently. Come here. He hugged me. It was a friendly hug. Safe, warm. You can stay at my place, he offered. He won't find you there. My penthouse has security that rivals the Pentagon. I pulled back. He'll kill you, Liam. You saw him in the office. Let him try, Liam said, a glint of steel in his eyes. I'm not afraid of Gabriel Stone, and I'm not letting you stay in this dump. I hesitated. Going with Liam was dangerous. It would provoke Gabriel to war, but I had nowhere else to go. And part of me, the petty hurt part of me, wanted Gabriel to see me with someone else. I wanted him to feel the pain I was feeling. Okay, I said. Take me away. Glass shattering, furniture being overturned, heavy breathing. My office was destroyed. The desk was overturned. The expensive paintings were slashed. Serena was gone. I had thrown her out into the rain without a penny, threatening to bury her if she ever spoke my name again. But it didn't matter. Ava was gone. My phone pinged. A photo. From a traffic camera hack I had ordered my security team to run. It showed a car, a silver Aston Martin, and inside, Ava, sitting next to Liam Sterling. A growl ripped from my throat. It was a sound not human. Sterling. He dared. He dared to touch my wife. I picked up my phone and dialed my head of security. Prepare the car. I commanded, my voice devoid of any emotion except cold, calculated murder. And get the legal team. We're buying Sterling Tech. Tonight. But, sir, the voice trembled. It's 3 a.m., and a hostile takeover takes weeks. I said tonight, I roared. I want him bankrupt by sunrise. And find out where he lives. I'm going to burn his world down to get her back. And I grabbed my coat and stormed out into the rain. Ava thought she could run. She thought she could leave me. She was wrong. I bought her. I married her. I loved her. And I would burn the entire city to the ground to bring my queen home. Urgent news report on TV. Breaking news, Stone Enterprises announces hostile takeover of Sterling Tech. Stocks plummeting. Phone ringing incessantly. I woke up in Liam's guest room to the sound of the world ending. Liam was in the living room pacing, shouting into his phone. He looked disheveled. The confident tech mogul from yesterday was gone. "What do you mean the servers are down?" Liam yelled. "What do you mean the board is calling for my resignation? It's been 6 hours. I walked out wrapping a blanket around myself. "Liam, what's happening?" Liam stopped. He looked at me with wild eyes. There was fear there, and blame. "He did it," Liam whispered, dropping his phone onto the couch. "Gabriel. He destroyed my company in one night." "What?" "My investors pulled out at 4 a.m. My bank froze my assets at 5 a.m. And at 6 a.m. Stone Enterprises bought 51% of my stock." Liam laughed a hysterical sound. "He didn't just buy me out, Ava. He obliterated me. I'm bankrupt." I stared at him horrified. "Gabriel did this because I was here." "I have to go," I said, backing away. "If I leave, maybe he'll stop." "It's too late," Liam shouted. "He's not doing this for business. He's doing this to punish me for helping you." A loud crash downstairs, the sound of a heavy door being kicked in, security alarms blaring. "He's here," Liam whispered, turning pale. I ran to the balcony. Below, a convoy of black SUVs blocked the street. Gabriel Stone stepped out of the lead car. He wasn't wearing a suit. He was wearing a black tactical shirt and cargo pants like he was going to war. He looked up, straight at me. Even from this distance, I felt the impact of his gaze. It was a physical blow. Gabriel didn't wait for the elevator. He took the stairs. Liam grabbed a baseball bat. His hands were shaking. "Liam, put it down," I pleaded. "You can't fight him." "I'm not letting him take you," Liam said, trying to be brave. But I saw the truth. He was terrified. The door to the penthouse flew open. Gabriel stood there. Behind him were 4 security guards, but he didn't need them. His presence filled the room, sucking out all the oxygen. He looked exhausted. His eyes were red-rimmed, his jaw covered in stubble. He looked like a man who had walked through hell to get here. He ignored Liam completely. His eyes locked on me. "Ava," he rasped. "Come here." "Stay back," Liam shouted, raising the bat. "You ruined my life, Stone. You took everything." Gabriel finally looked at Liam. It was the look a lion gives a buzzing fly. "I took your money," Gabriel said calmly. "I took your company, but I left you your life. Don't make me take that too." He pulled a document from his pocket and threw it on the floor at Liam's feet. "Sign the transfer papers," Gabriel said. "And I'll deposit $5 million into your personal account. Enough to start over somewhere else, somewhere far away from my wife." Liam looked at the bat, then at the papers, then at me. $5 million versus a fight he couldn't win. Liam dropped the bat. "I'm sorry, Ava," he mumbled, avoiding my eyes. He picked up the papers. I watched him sign. My heart sank. Liam wasn't a hero. He was just another man who could be bought. Just like Serena. Everyone had a price, except Gabriel. He was the one paying. Gabriel walked over to me. I backed up until I hit the wall. "Are you going to buy me too?" I asked, my voice trembling. "How much am I worth, Gabriel? 10 million, 20? Gabriel stopped. He looked at me with such raw vulnerability that my anger faltered. "You are priceless," he whispered. "I would burn every dollar I have just to hear you say my name again." He reached out his hand, hovering near my face. He didn't touch me. He was waiting for permission. "Why did you run?" he asked, his voice cracking. "Why didn't you let me explain?" "Because you lied." I cried, hitting his chest weakly. "You manipulated me. You made me think I was a substitute." "You were never a substitute," he roared, grabbing my wrists and pinning them to his chest. "You were the only one, always. Serena was the prop. The wedding was for you. The house was for you. The green pajamas were for you." Then why didn't you just ask me? I sobbed. Why the game? Gabriel closed his eyes, resting his forehead against mine. Because I was a coward, he confessed. I saw you every day for 5 years. Perfect, efficient, brilliant. You were too good for me, Ava. I'm a monster who destroys companies for breakfast. You're light. I thought if I asked you, you'd see the darkness in me and run. So I created a situation where you couldn't run, where you had to rely on me. He opened his eyes. They were wet. Gabriel Stone was crying. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry. I broke the only thing I ever wanted to protect. He let go of my wrists. He stepped back. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a set of keys. Car keys. My car is downstairs, he said. Take it. Go wherever you want. I won't follow you. I won't track you. He took a deep breath. I'm setting you free, Ava. If you want to leave, go. I stared at him. He had destroyed a company to get to me. He had stormed a penthouse, and now he was letting me go. This was the groveling. This was the surrender. He was giving me the one thing he valued most: control. I looked at the keys in his hand. Then I looked at Liam, who was busy signing papers in the corner, ignoring us. Then I looked at Gabriel, the broken king. I realized something. He didn't manipulate me because he didn't respect me. He did it because he was terrified of losing me. It was twisted, it was toxic, but it was love. And God help me, I loved the monster. I didn't take the keys, I took his face in my hands. You destroyed a tech empire in 6 hours, I said softly. Yes, he sniffled. You terrified my friend. He's not your friend. He sold you for 5 million. True, I admitted. You're a lunatic, Gabriel. I know. If I come back, I said, looking him dead in the eye. Things change, no more secrets, no more games, and I am not your assistant. I am your partner in everything. If you make a decision about us without asking me, I will leave, and next time I won't let you find me. Gabriel nodded frantically. Anything, I swear. And one more thing, I added. What? You have to rehire everyone you fired at Sterling Tech. They didn't do anything wrong. He let out a shaky breath, a small smile touching his lips. Done. I'll give them all a raise. He wrapped his arms around me, then lifting me off the ground, he buried his face in my neck, shaking with relief. I love you, Ava, he sobbed. I love you so much it hurts. I love you too, you idiot, I whispered, stroking his hair. Now take me home. I'm tired of running. We walked out of the building hand in hand. The paparazzi were waiting. Camera flashes. Mr. Stone, is it true you bought Sterling Tech? Mrs. Stone, were you kidnapped? Gabriel didn't push them away this time. He stopped. He pulled me close. This is my wife, he announced to the cameras, his voice ringing with pride. And anyone who touches her, upsets her, or even looks at her the wrong way, will answer to me. He kissed me. Right there in front of the world. It wasn't a fake kiss for a contract. It was a promise. The shadow bride stepped into the light, and the monster found his heart. Soft jazz playing in a high-end restaurant. Clinking of silverware. Low chatter. Life as Mrs. Gabriel Stone was intense, but in a good way. Gabriel kept his promise. No more secrets. He installed a desk for me in his office, a permanent one this time, and we ran Stone Enterprises together. But tonight wasn't about work. Tonight was about us. We were at Le Jardin, the most exclusive restaurant in New York, celebrating 1 month since the incident, as we called the kidnapping/takeover drama. Gabriel reached across the table and took my hand. He played with my wedding ring, the real one this time, not the prop. He had commissioned a new one, a rare pink diamond, because he remembered I once said Pink was a happy color. "You're staring," I teased. "I'm admiring my investment." He smirked, raising my hand to his lips. "Best acquisition of my career." Suddenly, a commotion at the entrance caught our attention. "I told you, I know him. Let me in." A woman was arguing with the maitre d'. Her hair was frizzy, her designer dress looked worn, and she looked desperate. "Serena, karma works fast in New York. Without Gabriel's money, which he froze the moment she broke the contract, and with her reputation ruined by rumors of drug use, which Gabriel may or may not have planted, she was no longer the golden girl." Gabriel stiffened. His protective instinct flared. "I'll handle it." "No," I said, placing a hand on his arm. "Sit. Watch." I stood up and walked towards the entrance. Serena saw me. Her eyes widened with hatred and envy. "You," she spat. "You stole my life. That table. That man. It should be me." "It was you," I corrected calmly. "But you sold it. Remember?" I pulled out my wallet. I took out $100 bill. "Here," I said, holding it out to her. "For a taxi. You look tired, Serena." Serena stared at the money. Her pride battled with her poverty. She snatched the bill. "I hate you," she hissed. "I don't think about you at all," I replied with a smile. "Enjoy the ride." I turned my back on her and walked back to my husband. Gabriel was looking at me with awe. "Remind me never to make you angry," he whispered as I sat down. "Good idea," I winked. "Now take me home. I believe we have unfinished business." Bedroom door closing and locking. The sound of rain outside, a callback to their first night. Clothes rustling. The Hamptons' house felt different tonight. It wasn't just a house. It was a home. Gabriel didn't turn on the lights. The moonlight from the ocean reflected into the room. He walked towards me, his eyes dark with intent. "We never had a real wedding night," he murmured, unbuttoning his shirt. "We slept in the same bed," I pointed out, stepping closer. "Sleeping isn't what I wanted to do," he admitted. He reached out and pulled me against him. "I wanted to do this." He kissed me. It wasn't gentle. It was possessive, demanding, and full of pent-up hunger. He lifted me up, wrapping my legs around his waist, and carried me to the bed. He laid me down on the silk sheets, emerald green, of course. He hovered over me, bracing his weight on his arms. He looked at me like I was a deity he wanted to worship and devour at the same time. "Ava," he whispered, tracing the line of my jaw. "You are so beautiful, it hurts." "Gabriel," I breathed, reaching for him. He took his time. He was a man of control, and he wanted to savor every second. He kissed every scar he had memorized from my file. "My shoulder, my knee, mine," he murmured against my skin. "Every inch, mine." When he finally joined our bodies, it was electric. It wasn't just physical, it was an emotional collision. All the years of silence, of longing, of watching each other from across a desk, it all poured into this moment. "Look at me," he commanded, his voice rough. "I want you to see who loves you." I looked into his eyes. They were blue fire. "I love you, Gabriel," I cried out. "I worship you, Ava," he groaned. The storm outside raged on, but inside we were the storm. And for the first time there were no shadows. Just us. Birds chirping, a baby cooing softly, the sound of waves. I sat on the deck of the beach house sketching in my notebook. But I wasn't sketching buildings or dresses. I was sketching a tiny pair of feet. Gabriel walked out onto the deck holding 2 mugs of coffee. He was barefoot, wearing jeans and a t-shirt. He looked relaxed, happy. He sat down next to me and handed me the mug. Decaf. "How are they doing?" he asked, placing a large hand on my swollen belly. "They are kicking," I laughed. "I think we have a soccer team in here." "Twins." Gabriel shook his head in disbelief, smiling. I still can't believe it. He leaned over and kissed my belly. Hey, Trouble, he whispered to the babies. Be nice to your mom. She's the boss. I ran my fingers through his hair. Are you happy, Gabriel? I asked softly. He looked up at me. The cold, ruthless billionaire was gone. In his place was a man who had everything he ever wanted. I have you, he said simply. I have them, and I have peace. I'm not just happy, Ava. I'm complete. He kissed me. A slow, sweet kiss that tasted of coffee and forever. By the way, he pulled back a mischievous glint in his eyes. I fired Serena again today. What? How? She tried to apply for a receptionist job at one of our subsidiaries under a fake name. I flagged her resume. I laughed. You are petty. I am protective, he corrected. No one messes with my queen. He pulled me into his arms and we watched the sunrise over the ocean. The shadow bride was gone. Long live the queen.